Welcome back, traders, to yet another weekly analysis. Now, last week I didn't analyze gold and I got a lot of requests from you guys, so here we go this week. Now, the last time I analyzed gold, if you remember, I was like, I'd like to see price create a new higher high, breaking out of this region, create a new higher high, come back for a retest and push all the way up to 2440.024. Now, if you doubt me, let's revisit last 2 weeks video. Now, going into next week, my play will be to see price take out this zone, come back for the retest. I mean, this zone is around the 2393 area. So I'd like to see price push up to the upside with this level being my next target. Let me put a line there for easier identification. So 2440 is my next target should price continue bullish, which is what I would like to see. Welcome back, guys. You can see how price broke out, retested, and traded all the way up. Now price even went beyond that and then returned with such an impulsive move to this downside here. So what do we expect going into next week? As a matter of fact, let's first of all see how we closed for last week. You can see this is the weekly time frame and this is how bearish we were last week. Now going into next week, I'll go back to the 4-hour time frame. I can see a zone here. So what I'll do is just to plot a level around here, then I'll capture the swing point here, and then on the 15 minutes time frame, I'd like to see price push up, because if you go back to the 4-hour time frame, there was this, we experienced such a bearish impulsive move, right? And I think price will go back for a pullback just a little bit into these areas here, which is between here and here, which is 2421.742 and 2413.120. So I'd like to see price pull back into that region, then sell back into this zone here. So something like this, stop loss maybe anywhere below here and take profit. This is a short trade anyways. This is a short trade 1-to-1. So for those that may want to take this is something you may want to look at. However, let's look for a long-term play here. So if price continues higher and breaks out of this 2421.742 area, then we may see price continue to push to the upside. But if price pulls back into the zone and sells back to the downside, then my bearish target will be around here. All right, my bearish target will be 2368.196. So which means this zone becomes invalid. That is if price pulls back into here before selling off into this region. All right, so these are my buys and sell scenarios. For sells, my target is 2368. Then for buys, my target will be these obvious highs that price has created for us around here, which is 2483.667. Now onto the next pair, EURJPY. Now EURJPY last week, I think I'll just go all the way down. Okay, let's even start from the daily time frame. For the past couple of weeks, I have been telling you that I am expecting to see price come into this daily zone here, and as you can see, price has tapped into that daily zone, of course manipulated a bit before going back up to close above that zone, and for now we are still holding. All right, so let me go all the way down to the 15 minutes time frame. So last week, if you remember, price was trading around this region and I said I'd like to see a breakout on the 15 minutes time frame, specifically a pullback and then a sell-off into this region here, which is 170.988. How do we take advantage of this further bearish push to the downside? And guys, this is for those that are not in this bearish move yet. I would like to give you an entry. Let's wait for price on this 15 minutes time frame to break properly below this 171.795 area. Break below it properly, then come back for a retest. Then you want to look for your selling confirmation into this at least 170.988 region. Did that happen? Of course, price played around for a bit, broke below, went back there for the retest around here, which happened on Friday. So you see, patience is key. Price came into that zone eventually and then sold off to the original target like I rightly specified. as you can see. So that was a short move, but of course, if you took advantage of it, it was a profitable one. So what should we be expecting going into next week? I think I should look at the daily time frame on this one. Let me start from the daily time frame. Now, if you notice, this trend line has been holding for quite some time. As a matter of fact, that was the trend line price came to retest that created that little manipulation below our zone. So for now, I still would like to see price continue higher from that region. However, if price takes out that trend line, I think I will be patient. I don't trade EURJPY, by the way. I only trade EURUSD, like you already know. But if price takes out this trend line and continues lower, then I would wait for price to break below this area here, which is 167.543. So I would like to see price break out of that zone. Of course, I will now switch to a much lower time frame, like the 15 minutes time frame or 30 minutes time frame, catch the retest, and then sell into this area here with our stop loss above. All right, but for now I am more bullish than bearish, but we may struggle next week because if you go to the weekly time frame, we've been super bearish. I mean, two bearish solid candlesticks, so we may range for a bit before we start seeing some bullish price action. But if we take out this trend line below, guys, I'll be patient enough for price to take out 167.543, go to a much lower time frame, catch the pullback, and sell into these lows here. All right, so that is that on EURJPY. The next on my list is DXY. Now, DXY did a little bit of confusion last month, but let me explain why. On the weekly time frame, you will notice that we successfully closed last week with a bullish price action. That means we experienced a strong DXY. However, we are beginning to create lower highs, right? But one thing we are yet to create to cement this supposed bearish price action is a new lower low. We need a new lower low on this weekly time frame to cement the bearish price action to the downside here. All right, and that's what I thought was going to happen last week when we broke below this 104.042 area. However, this zone is still holding. DXY is still standing. The US dollar is still standing strong, and we need to be careful about that. So a little bit more patience is going to be required if we are going to continue seeing a bearish DXY. We actually need to have a weekly candlestick close below here to cement a bearish push to the downside. However, what do we do going into next week? Now, going into next week on the daily time frame, we have a new lower low. Price broke back above this zone. As a matter of fact, I would have loved to see price retest that zone and continue lower. However, we broke above it. But let's go down to the 4-hour time frame. So if price actually wants to continue going upward, which will be a mere pullback for me, our target will be around 104.808. That will be my target if price continues bullish. However, we need to be patient for price to create a new higher high. Remember, price moves using market structure, right? So we need to see a change in market structure around here. I think I'm going to connect from the left here. So I'll do this and then this. So price has to break above this upper level here, which is actually, sorry I have so many lines, but I believe you're following, right? Meanwhile, let me delete all of these lines that are now useless. All right, at least we have a little bit clarity now. So if price is to continue higher on DXY, then it has to take out 104.506. All right, then when that happens, when this happens, then we can now trade into this zone as my bullish targets, 104.808. However, if this zone holds and we continue lower and we come back and break below 103.986, then which means we may most likely see our weekly bearish candle close below that zone, which will cement our bearish move to the downside. And if we continue lower, my bearish target is 101.657. Huge move. All right, but for bullish targets, 104.808. So that is that on DXY. The next on my list is GBPUSD, which I didn't analyze last week. However, last 2 weeks, if you remember vividly, I called your attention on this pullback on the 15 minutes time frame around here. Let me go to the 15 minutes time frame and show you, right? I was actually thinking price was going to tap into this trend line before we continue higher. However, I made sure that I highlighted this zone, all this zone, right, for price to pull back into before we trade into 1.28556. All right. So if you doubt me, let's revisit last 2 weeks video. Let's go to the 15 minutes time frame. Or price could decide to pull back into this area, tap into this lower trend line, and then take off to the upside. Welcome back, guys. So you can see price came into that area, broke above it, and continued higher. Now let's go back to our analysis. Now for next week, what should we be expecting? If we go to the daily time frame, guys, remember market structure, price. Let me even go to the weekly time frame and show you what I think the overall target for GBP USD is. I think the overall target is 1.31428 area. However, price just created a new higher high around here. If you can't spot it, let me point it out for you. I mean, price created a high, a higher low, a new higher high. What do you think price has in mind to do? Probably create a new higher low before we continue to the upside. All right, this is the weekly time frame anyways, but let's go to the daily time frame and see things clearly. So I think price is coming into this area, which is 1.28556. If we continue lower, that would be our target. But let's go to the 4-hour time frame. If you are not already in this bearish pullback, then what should you be doing? I'm going to plot a zone around here, capturing this tip here. So I think on the lower time frame, I'll go to the 15 minutes time frame and be waiting for a pullback into these areas here. All right, what are those areas? Let me put 2 lines there so that we can keep tabs on those areas. So I'm looking at between 1.29489 and 1.29390. So I'd like to see price pull back into those regions on the much lower time frame, like the 15 minutes time frame, and then capitalize on the next move to the downside. Now my bearish target is 1.28556 before we go bullish or something like that. However, if we fail to get a bearish confirmation here and instead price breaks above 1.29489 area, then I'd like to see price just continue trading to the upside. I'll catch the pullback and then we can continue trading all the way to the upside. My target for now is 1.31000. All right, so that is that on GBP USD bearish and bullish scenario. Now Euro USD was quite complicated last week. As a matter of fact, you can notice the gap around here, which was where we opened for last week, and price basically just swung lower, higher, then back to the lowest point here for last week. So now what should we be expecting going into next week? I'll do what I did on GBP USD. So on the 15 minutes time frame, I have a 15 minutes zone around here. So if we go to the weekly time frame on Euro USD, you notice that we close with a bearish candlestick. And even on the daily time frame, let me go back to the daily time frame. This is a strong resistance level. As a matter of fact, this manipulation also came into a strong resistance level, which is around here. So price may most likely continue lower, but if it's going to continue lower, we're just going to hit the sell button. Well, we need to wait for confirmation. We need to wait for price to break at least below this price level here, which is 1.08723. all right, which is around here. So wait for price to break below it on this 15 minutes time frame, come for a pullback. Then our bearish target will be around here, which is around 1.08435. that is our bearish target. However, if we continue bullish, then trust me, I'm going to be patient enough for price to break out of this 1.09149 area. For a 4-hour candlestick to break above it, then I can continue trading. My bullish target is 1.09928. all right, so that's my bullish target. So that is that on Euro USD. Last on my list for this week is US oil, and that's pretty much straightforward. Or should I take you through the weekly time frame analysis? On the weekly time frame, you can see this impulsive bearish move to the downside, huge bearish move to the downside. So that indicates that price may most likely continue to the downside. But if I go to the 4-hour time frame, we can see something like a mini head and shoulders pattern, not a perfect one, but if you choose to look at it that way, it's fine. If you still choose not to look at it that way, it's also fine. So it doesn't really matter. Let's just focus on market structure. So market structure wise, price has created a low, a lower high, a new lower low, a new lower high, then a new lower low. So I think price is going to, in the initial trading sessions of next week, I believe price will still push down into the 77.77 region. Then I would like to see the pullback. Now when price is approaching the pullback, which is around the 0.5 or 0.6 fib level, I will switch to the 15 minutes time frame if I was trading this, which I don't anyways. But if I was trading this, I'll come here, switch to a much lower time frame, and capture the next move to the downside. As a matter of fact, my bearish move for now is 76.27 on US oil. All right. But if we are to go bullish, then guys, you have to be patient because we are too bearish right now. You have to be patient for price to at least break back above this pink level, at least above, where is this, above 80.57 area. Break above it. By that time we must have created a new higher high. Then we can continue trading to the upside with where will be our targets, maybe these areas that has been tested multiple times, which is 84.17 as our target. All right, so guys, there you have it, the end of this week's analysis. Once again, if you want to learn how to analyze, how to execute, and how to make profit in the market, you know what to do. Enroll in any of our mentorship programs and take your trading to the next level. And if you've made it this far and you're yet to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit that share button, please do so. And if you agree or disagree with whatever has been said in this video, constructively leave a comment in the comment section down below. I want to see your analysis and what you're probably looking at going into next week. Once again, thanks for staying to the end of this video. I wish you a successful trading week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye guys.